Why bad people can't stand the power of the chosen ones. You've probably felt it at some point in your life. That subtle resistance, that inexplicable tension when you walk into a room. Maybe you've noticed how some people seem to shrink in your presence, their smiles becoming forced, their words clipped, or worse, they lash out at you without reason, trying to undermine your confidence, your spirit, and even your purpose. Why does this happen? Why does the very existence of a chosen one, a person who walks in alignment with a higher purpose, seem to disturb certain people so deeply? Let's explore this question, not just from a spiritual perspective, but one that touches on the deepest truths of human nature, energy, and the unseen forces that shape our existence. The first thing we must understand is that the power of the chosen one isn't something you can fake. It's not about ego, wealth, or status. It's not about how many followers you have or how loud your voice is in a crowd. The power of the chosen one is rooted in authenticity. It's the quiet, unshakable strength that comes from living in alignment with your divine purpose. When you operate from this space, you radiate an energy that is unmistakable, an energy that uplifts, inspires, and challenges the status quo. And herein lies the problem. Bad people, those who thrive on deceit, manipulation, and control, cannot coexist peacefully in the presence of this energy. It's not because you've done something wrong or because you've directly confronted them. It's because your very existence exposes their shadows. You see, when you shine brightly, you inadvertently illuminate the darkness in others. And for someone who has built their identity around that darkness, this can feel like an existential threat.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lessons.
Think about it. How does a lie react to the presence of the truth? It crumbles. It's exposed. It loses its power. In the same way, the chosen one's energy disrupts the carefully constructed facades that bad people use to hide their true selves. This is why their reactions can be so extreme. They'll project their insecurities onto you, accuse you of arrogance, or try to make you doubt your own worth. They'll go out of their way to sabotage you, not because you've wronged them, but because your light makes it impossible for them to remain comfortable in their darkness. But let me ask you something. How do you respond to this? When the world pushes against you, when people go out of their way to dim your light, do you shrink? Do you dim yourself to make others comfortable? Or do you stand firm, rooted in the truth of who you are? This is the ultimate test of the chosen one. It's not about fighting back or proving your worth to those who cannot see it. It's about holding your ground even when the storm rages around you. Here's the hard truth. Not everyone will celebrate your light. Not everyone will understand your journey. Some people are so deeply entrenched in their own pain and fear that they cannot comprehend the possibility of someone living in alignment with a higher purpose. And that's okay. Your mission is not to convince them. Your mission is to embody your truth so fully that their resistance no longer affects you. But let's go deeper. Why do bad people resist the chosen one so intensely? The answer lies in the nature of energy itself. Every human being carries an energetic signature, a unique vibration that reflects their thoughts, emotions, and intentions. When you're aligned with your higher purpose, your vibration is high, pure, and expansive. It has the power to uplift those around you, to heal, to inspire. But it also has the power to disrupt lower vibrations, energies rooted in fear, greed, and deceit. This isn't about good versus evil in a simplistic sense. It's about resonance. High vibrations and low vibrations cannot coexist in harmony. one will inevitably affect the other. And for someone who operates from a low vibrational state, the presence of a high vibrational being can feel like a form of annihilation. It forces them to confront parts of themselves they'd rather avoid. It shakes the foundation of their reality, exposing the lies they've told themselves and others. Have you ever noticed how some people seem to thrive in chaos? They create drama, spread negativity, and feed off the energy of others. These are the people who are most threatened by the chosen ones. Why? Because you represent everything they are not. Your peace unsettles their chaos. Your authenticity exposes their deceit. Your strength highlights their weakness. And instead of looking inward to heal, they lash out, trying to bring you down to their level. But here's the thing, they can't touch you unless you let them. The power of the chosen one isn't just about shining brightly, it's about being unshakable. It's about knowing who you are so deeply that no amount of external resistance can make you question your worth or your purpose. This is the true test of spiritual mastery, not how brightly you shine when things are easy, but how steadfast you remain when the world tries to dim your light. So, let me ask you again, how do you respond when faced with resistance? Do you see it as a sign of failure, or do you recognize it as confirmation of your power? Do you shrink to make others comfortable, or do you stand firm, knowing that your light is needed now more than ever? These are the questions that every chosen one must answer for themselves, and the answers will determine not only your journey but the impact you have on the world. The unstoppable radiance when chosen ones fully embrace their power happens when you stop apologizing for your light, when you no longer dim yourself to fit into spaces that were never meant for you. When you fully embrace the power you were born with, regardless of the resistance you face. This is where the journey of the chosen one becomes unstoppable. This is where you step into a realm of existence so profound that no amount of negativity, no amount of opposition can touch the essence of who you are. But let me warn you, this path is not without its challenges. To fully embrace your power is to walk a path of both immense fulfillment and immense responsibility. You see, when a chosen one comes into their power, their energy shifts in ways that are impossible to ignore. It becomes magnetic. You start to notice how people are either drawn to you like moths to a flame or repelled as though your very presence threatens their sense of self. And it does. Not because you intend harm, but because your authenticity acts as a mirror. For those who are ready to grow, your light becomes a beacon, a source of hope, inspiration, and guidance. But for those who cling to their shadows, it becomes a reminder of everything they are not ready to face. This is where many chosen ones falter. The intensity of this reaction can feel overwhelming. You might find yourself wondering, why can't they just leave me alone? Why does my existence provoke them so much? But the truth is, this isn't about you. It's about the energy you carry and the transformation it demands of those around you. And transformation, as beautiful as it is never comfortable. Think about a seed buried in the soil. For it to grow, it must break open. It must push through the darkness, through the weight of the earth, to reach the light. This process is not easy, and for some, it's terrifying. The presence of a chosen one triggers this kind of growth in others, whether they are ready for it or not. And while some will embrace this journey, others will resist it with every fiber of their being. That resistance is not your burden to carry. Your only responsibility is to continue growing, shining, and walking your path. But here's the beautiful part. When you stop letting the resistance of others dictate your actions, you step into a level of freedom that is indescribable. You no longer feel the need to explain yourself, to justify your choices, or to seek validation. You begin to realize that your power is not something that can be given or taken away by anyone else. It is yours, and it has always been yours. And the moment you claim it fully, the world begins to shift around you. Have you ever noticed how the universe seems to align when you are in your truth? Doors that once seemed closed begin to open effortlessly. Opportunities flow to you with ease. The right people, those who see you, support you, and uplift you begin to appear as if by magic. This is not a coincidence. When you operate from a place of alignment, your energy becomes a magnet for everything that resonates with your highest good. And just as powerfully, it repels everything that does not serve you. But let me ask you this, are you ready for what comes with that kind of alignment? Because the truth is, it's not always easy. Stepping into your power means letting go of everything that no longer fits. This includes people, habits, beliefs, and even parts of yourself that you've outgrown. It's a process of shedding, of releasing, of trusting that what lies ahead is greater than anything you're leaving behind. And that kind of trust requires courage. Here's where many chosen ones struggle. The fear of loss can be paralyzing. You might find yourself clinging to relationships that drain you, to environments that stifle you, simply because they feel familiar. But let me remind you, growth and comfort cannot coexist. If you are truly committed to embracing your power, you must be willing to walk away from anything that dims your light. And while this may feel lonely at times, remember that the path of the chosen one is not about pleasing everyone. It's about fulfilling your purpose. And those who are meant to walk with you will find you along the way. Now, let's talk about the power itself. What does it mean to truly embody the energy of the chosen one? It's not about control or domination. True power is quiet, it's still. It's the kind of presence that speaks volumes without saying a word. It's the ability to remain calm in chaos, to hold space for others without losing yourself, to face adversity with grace and resilience. This kind of power cannot be taught, it must be cultivated through experience, through trial and error, through moments of doubt and moments of clarity. And here's the secret: the more you embrace your power, the less the opinions of others will matter. You will come to understand that their resistance is not a reflection of your worth, but of their own internal struggles. You will learn to see their hostility for what it truly is: a cry for healing, for understanding, for the very light they are rejecting. And while it is not your job to fix them, your presence alone can plant a seed. Whether or not that seed grows is up to them, but your role is simply to remain steadfast in your truth. So, let me ask you, are you willing to let go of the need to be liked, to be understood, to be accepted by those who cannot see your light? Are you willing to embrace the fullness of who you are, even if it means standing alone? Because when you do, you step into a power that cannot be shaken. You become a force of nature, a walking testament to the power of authenticity and alignment. And in doing so, you inspire others to do the same. The ripple effect of authentic power, how chosen ones transform the world. What happens when chosen ones stop merely surviving and begin thriving? When they no longer just endure the resistance, the envy, and the hostility of others, but instead use it as fuel to rise even higher. This is the point where the chosen one's power becomes not only undeniable but transformative. Their light, once confined to their own lives, begins to ripple outward, touching the lives of others in ways they might never fully comprehend. This is the beauty of authentic power. It doesn't just elevate the person who wields it, it elevates everything and everyone it comes into contact with. But let's be clear about one thing: thriving isn't about material success or external validation. It's about stepping into a state of being where your inner world becomes so stable, so abundant, that the outer world can't help but reflect that back to you. When a chosen one begins to thrive, they embody a level of inner peace and self-assurance that radiates outward, shifting the energy of any space they enter. It's not about what they say or do, it's about who they are. Their presence alone becomes a catalyst for change. Have you ever met someone who seemed to carry an unshakable calm? Someone who made you feel safe just by being near them? That's the energy of a chosen one who has learned to thrive. What does this transformation look like in practice? It begins with a shift in perspective. When you're simply surviving, you see every challenge, every setback as something to endure, something to get through. But when you're thriving, you see these same challenges as opportunities for growth. You begin to understand that the resistance you face isn't a sign that you're on the wrong path, it's confirmation that you're exactly where you're meant to be. The stronger the resistance, the greater the potential for transformation. This mindset shift is powerful because it takes you out of a reactive state and into a proactive one. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you start asking, "What is this teaching me? How can I use this to become stronger, wiser, more aligned with my purpose?" This is the essence of thriving, not avoiding adversity, but embracing it as a necessary part of your evolution. And when you do this, something extraordinary happens. The things that once seemed insurmountable no longer have power over you. You stop being a victim of your circumstances and become the creator of your reality. But thriving isn't just about personal empowerment. It's about what happens when that empowerment spills over into the lives of others. When you walk in your truth, you give others permission to do the same. Your courage becomes a beacon for those who are still finding their way. Your authenticity becomes a reminder that it's okay to be different, to be bold, to be unapologetically yourself. This is the ripple effect of authentic power. It spreads far beyond what you can see, touching lives in ways you may never fully understand. Here's the paradox: the very people who once resisted your light the most are often the ones who are most impacted by it in the long run. Their initial hostility was simply a reflection of their own unhealed wounds, their fear of change, their resistance to growth. But as they watch you thrive, as they see you rise above their attempts to bring you down, something shifts within them. They may not admit it, but your example plants a seed. It shows them that there's another way to live, another way to be. And while not everyone will act on this realization, some will. And that, in itself, is a victory. But let me ask you something: are you ready to embrace the responsibility that comes with this kind of power? Because it is a responsibility. When you choose to thrive as a chosen one, you're not just living for yourself. You're living as a guide, a teacher, a source of inspiration for others. This doesn't mean you have to be perfect. Far from it. In fact, it's your imperfections, your struggles, your humanity that make your journey relatable and inspiring. People don't need you to be flawless, they need you to be real. They need to see that thriving isn't about never falling, it's about rising every time you do. Thriving also requires boundaries. As your light grows, more people will be drawn to you, not all of them with pure intentions. Some will seek to take advantage of your energy, to latch onto your success without doing the work themselves. This is where discernment comes in. Thriving isn't about giving endlessly until you're depleted, it's about giving from a place of overflow. It's about knowing when to say no, when to step back, when to protect your energy so that you can continue to shine. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. Thriving means filling your own cup first, unapologetically, so that what overflows can nourish those around you. Let me ask you this: what would happen if you stopped holding back? If you fully embraced your power, your purpose, your light? What kind of impact could you have not just on your own life, but on the world around you? These are the questions that chosen ones must ask themselves as they step into their fullest potential. And when you find the courage to answer them honestly, you'll discover that the ripple effect of your power is far greater than anything you could have imagined. The eternal legacy: how chosen ones reshape the fabric of existence. When a chosen one fully steps into their power, something extraordinary happens. Their life ceases to be just about them. Every action, every word, every choice begins to ripple across time and space, creating a legacy that outlives them. They leave behind more than memories. They leave behind shifts in consciousness, seeds of transformation, and pathways of light that others can follow. This is the ultimate destiny of the chosen ones: to reshape the fabric of existence itself by simply being who they are meant to be. To understand this, we must first acknowledge that chosen ones are not born to follow the script written by the world. They are here to rewrite it. This is why their journey is often so difficult, why the resistance they face can feel so relentless. The forces of the old, the systems, beliefs, and structures that thrive on fear and control sense the power of the chosen ones and fight to maintain their grip. But when a chosen one rises, when they refuse to be silenced or diminished, they create cracks in those systems. Through those cracks, light pours in. This is the true power of the chosen ones. They don't just inspire individuals, they shift paradigms. They challenge the status quo, not through rebellion or aggression, but through the sheer force of their authenticity. They show the world what is possible when one chooses truth over fear, love over hatred, and alignment over conformity. And in doing so, they create a new blueprint for humanity, one rooted in unity, compassion, and purpose. But let me ask you this: what does legacy mean to you? Is it about being remembered, or is it about making an impact that transcends time? The chosen ones understand that legacy isn't about fame or recognition. It's about the invisible threads they weave into the fabric of existence, the acts of kindness, the moments of courage, the sparks of inspiration that ripple outward in ways they may never see. It's about planting seeds that grow long after they're gone. Consider this: every great shift in human history, every revolution of thought, every leap in consciousness began with someone who dared to be different, someone who refused to dim their light, even when the world tried to snuff it out. These individuals were chosen ones, whether they realized it or not. They didn't set out to change the world, they set out to live their truth. And in doing so, they inspired others to do the same. This is the legacy of the chosen ones: not to lead through force, but to lead by example. But there's another layer to this. The legacy of a chosen one isn't just about what they do, it's about the energy they leave behind. Energy cannot be destroyed, it only transforms. When you live in alignment with your purpose, your energy becomes a force of creation. It imprints itself on the world, leaving behind a trail of light that others can follow. This is why the impact of the chosen ones can never truly be measured. It exists in the hearts they touch, the lives they uplift, and the transformations they inspire. However, this legacy doesn't come without sacrifice. To walk the path of the chosen one is to walk a path of surrender, surrendering old identities, old fears, old attachments. It's about letting go of everything that no longer serves your highest purpose, even when it's painful. But in that surrender, you gain something far greater: freedom. Freedom to live authentically. Freedom to create without limits. Freedom to leave behind a legacy that is as infinite as the universe itself. So, let me ask you one final question: what will your legacy be? Not in the sense of achievements or accolades, but in the energy you leave behind. How will the world feel different because you existed? What seeds will you plant, knowing you may never see them bloom? These are the questions that chosen ones carry with them, not as a burden, but as a guiding light. The truth is, the power of the chosen ones doesn't end with their lifetime. It echoes, it resonates, it becomes part of the collective consciousness, reshaping the world in ways that only time will reveal. And as this happens, the very fabric of existence begins to shift, not through force, but through the quiet, unstoppable power of authenticity and love. This is the destiny of the chosen ones: to rise, to thrive, to inspire, and to leave behind a legacy that transforms the world, one soul at a time.